So look, if you want to grow your wealth, your income, and increase the amount of time off, then these are the shortcuts that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast.
Welcome everybody, hope you're well today. My name's Dan Latto. So today's session is not going to be a long session. You may notice my voice is a little bit different and I've got this dreadful cough, a tightness in my chest, and obviously it's man flu. So lucky to be alive. I don't get it often, but when I do get ill, it just knocks me for six. But it led me to thinking about income and cash flow and all of that kind of thing. Because when I woke up this morning, I wasn't feeling overly great. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have a duvet day. I logged into my bank account. I saw money coming into the account from tenants overnight. So that was nice. I checked my emails. I saw leads coming in and sales coming in. So we made three sales for our online training, which was nice. And then we got a lead coming in for our £6,000 training. So that was nice. And it got me to thinking about this idea of creating something that can generate cash flow every single month for the rest of your life, ideally. And obviously, I've been doing that for the last 20 years with property. So I'm 47 now. I bought my first house in 96, I think it was. Was that right? It's 24 years. That can't be right. Must have been year 2000, 1999, year 2000. And when I started buying property, the idea around buying buy-to-let property was to generate £150 a month. I mean, in my mind, I was thinking, if I had 10 of those, that's £1,500 every single month. I didn't have kids then. I could retire on £1,500 a month. So my goal and my target was to head towards earning that amount of money and buying that number of property. And I got there fairly quickly within the first 4 years. And then I moved also from £15,000 a year to £100,000 through my job. Going for job after job after job. I'd get one job and I'd start looking for the next job. And I moved very, very quickly. And all the money that I earned from that job basically went into buy-to-let and property and all of that kind of thing. So when people say to me, well, not a good time to invest right now, is it? And I say, what do you mean? What do you mean it's not a good time to invest? Well, it's not a good time, is it? The market's down, or the market's up, or the market's sideways, or there's Brexit, or there's a Labour government, or there's a Tory government, or Boris Johnson's just got in, or Theresa May, or Tony Blair, nearly call him Lionel Blair. Tony Blair's in, and Gordon Brown's coming. Oh, he's going to stop buy-to-let. All this stuff, all these reasons as to why you shouldn't be investing in property. And when I look back over the last 20 years, and the same people that are going, we shouldn't be investing in property, they had to get up and go to work today. I'm not feeling overly well. I'm having a duvet day. I'm watching right now, literally, I press pause. I'm in the middle of watching Gravity with Sandra Bullock. I wanted a bit of sci-fi, don't feel overly well. I had a coaching call this morning, got this to do, and then literally that's it. That's my entire day. And the whole reason why I can afford to do that is that property is generating cash flow on a monthly basis. And so when I checked my bank account this morning, up to around the 19th or 20th, we've got some big transactions that go out around this time. And when I was looking in the bank account, and I was looking at, actually, this is the first time in a long time we've had a certain amount of money available after everything goes out, and like a good chunk of money. And it, by this time, this is like a milestone for me. 19th or 20th, I like to see where I'm up to cash flow wise, and we're up. It was better than last month, and last month was better than the month before, and the month before was better than that. We got a tenant moving out in 2 weeks. They pay $850. We just put that up to $895, and we'll get $895. I'm actually thinking that might be a little bit too cheap, and maybe $950. But we'll go for $895. It's an extra 50 quid. It's an extra 5%, more or less, slightly more, but it's gone up an extra 5 or 6%. We'll go with that. But if I'd not have made that decision 20 years ago, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't be able to spend my time doing what I enjoy, creating training, helping other people get financially free. I'd have to get up and go to work and have a proper job. And I'm so grateful for the fact that I started investing and I had the nous, I think that's a word. I had the intelligence back then to go, do you know what? I'm going to start investing in property. Even though everybody, literally everybody told me not to. Well, good luck. Don't want to do that. Ooh, we don't want to do that. Oof, my mate did that. Oof. And it's like, well, where are those guys today? They have to get up and go to work. It's a Wednesday. I don't want to work on a Wednesday. I want to just watch Gravity. Why can't I just watch Gravity and just deal with everything else another time when I decide to deal with it? And that's exactly how my life is. And the only reason life is like that is because we've got cash flow that comes in from property. So when is a good time to invest in property? Well, 20 years ago. I'm sure you've heard the saying, best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. And the second best time is now. Now is the best time to get yourself into buy to let. I mean, it doesn't matter when you're actually watching this video. You could have been watching this video at any point in the last 20 years. And you could have said, well, Dan, it wasn't so good in 2008. There was a crash in all property prices. I would have been happy buying 2008. And by the way, when I went through my portfolio, we bought a lot of property in 2006, 7 and 8. We bought a number of properties per year, and then it dropped off, okay? Like, the 140 grand property that I bought was then worth 120. Oh, no. Oh, the world is over. Oh, no. Oh, how about we just let the cash flow pay for it and let's see what happens over the next 10 years. Here we are, 2020. That house is worth 210. It is Leeds based. We bought for 145, I think it was. It's now worth 210. And yeah, the prices are dipped, and there's panic. Who cares? Nobody cares, because for cash flow investors, our reason for being is generating monthly cash flow. Because guess what? My mobile phone bill is a monthly phone bill. I don't pay for that all up front in one go. I pay it monthly. We pay rent on our villa where we live right now. Well, guess what? We pay monthly. We pay petrol on cars. We pay that whenever it needs petrol going in, but it gets reset every single month. And this is the whole point. We are monthly beings. We don't need £1 million equity. It's nice if you got it, but you don't need it. You just need £5,000 to £10,000 every single month coming in, regardless. You need a buffer in there as well in case it doesn't come in. But you need, £5,000 to £10,000 every single month coming in, and you can live off that. You don't need to be a multi-millionaire or anything like that. It's better if you are. It's better if you've got cash flow coming in from different locations as well. But you don't need all that stuff. It's just a distraction for you. So when is the best time to invest in property? The answer is now. Sorry, clearing my throat there because I've got man flu. So, and let's look at where we are right now. What have we got? Well, we've got Brexit. What's going on with Brexit? Nobody knows. Still nobody knows, even though we're now Brexiting. But nobody actually even knows what that looks like. Well, we've left. Well, we haven't, have we? We're right in the middle now of another year of not knowing what's going on. So nobody's got a clue. And if you think you've got a clue, you don't know what you're talking about. So Brexit, we don't know what's going on there. Immigration, we don't know what's going on there. House builders, don't know what they're doing. Like, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody has a bloody clue what's going on. So why are you making decisions based on what's going on out there when you should be making decisions based on what's going on in here? It doesn't make any sense to me. Now is the time to start buying property. Well, if property prices drop 50%, if I buy a £400,000 place and it's now only worth 200 grand, I've lost 200 grand. No, you haven't. Why have you lost 200 grand? Well, if I sell it, are you going to sell it? No. Shut up then. You've not lost it, have you? You've only made a loss if you have to sell the asset for some reason. If you don't have to sell it, you just wait, and it might be 20 years, but it goes back, you can sell it then. In the meantime, you're going to have to make do with making a couple of £100 a month off it. £500, £1,000, depends if it's a HMO and all that kind of thing. What's the big deal? I don't understand. Property prices are going to drop in the next 10 years. Oh, yes. Property prices are going to drop by 90%. Great, I'll buy another 100. If property prices are dropping 90% in the next 10 years, brilliant. I'm going to save up loads and loads of money. And in 10 years' time, that £400,000 house, I'm going to have it for, 40 grand? Whoopee. Awesome. I'm going to buy 100 of them at that price. Oh, well, yeah, it doesn't work like that. What do you mean it doesn't work like that? What the hell do you know? How many properties have you got? Well, I don't have any, but I read The Guardian or The Telegraph or The Times or the Financial Times. I know what I'm doing because I read the Financial Times. And it's like, mofo, the guys writing the Financial Times don't know what's going on. That's why they have to write for the Financial Times. They have to be paid a salary as a journalist to write for the Financial Times because they ain't got their shit together. I tell you one good thing about man flu is that little gene is switched off. You know that little gene that stops you ranting in public? I think mostly it's switched off for me anyway, but in particular, it's like these guys who work for the Financial Times. This is money at the Daily Mail. Oh, how much do you know about money? Oh, I know loads. You do? Yeah. So why are you in a job then, earning 25 grand a year? Oh, it's because I know loads about money. Well, you clearly don't. If you need to get a job for 25 grand a year, it's £2,000 a month. Then you're going to lose 20% in tax, 30% when you take into account. You're going to lose a third of that anyway. I mean, you get excited about having £1,000 a year pay rise, 5% pay rise, when inflation's 3%. So now you're on to 2%. You bought yourself a new car for £100 a month. Are you crazy? Do you know what I mean? These guys are literally crazy. They are off their rocker. And yet we celebrate these people as being, oh, they know what they're doing. Well, yeah, they've got a job to earn money. How about you take your advice from someone who's already retired, who's making money from cash flow, from assets that generate monthly cash flow? That's where you need to start listening, not reading the Financial Times. What a waste of time is reading the Financial Times. It might be interesting reading what the CEO of Marks and Spencer's is thinking if you're buying into stocks and shares. I've got stocks and shares, for example, 2 companies. One is Tesla. I look at what Tesla's doing and I look at what Elon Musk, the alien from another planet, is doing. I like to know what they're doing. What's going on with his Tesla? Not a Cybertruck, but his articulated lorry. What's going on with that? That's a game changer. Like I can talk about that. Do you even know why that's a game changer? Well, no, but Tesla, he's not been in cars very long, has he? And it's like, dude, neither had Apple with the iPhone. And look at what happened there. They changed an industry almost overnight. And Steve Ballmer from Microsoft was laughing in that interview. What? A phone with no keypad? And then Microsoft got wiped out by Apple and their iPhone device. So you need to start following the people who are actually doing the thing that you want to be doing. Follow the people who are into property. Why are you into property? What is it about cash flow that interests you so much? Why are you not bothered about capital appreciation? Because I know people, in fact, Morgan's in Leeds. I wrote an article in the Yorkshire Post going back 15 years ago. I'm reading this article. I'm like, Jonathan Morgan's a muppet anyway. I've always thought Jonathan's a muppet. If you're watching this, Jonathan, you're a muppet. Just so you know. And the tricks that you pulled, we've lost the keys. Have you now? Funny that. Honestly, grow up. He wrote an article talking about capital appreciation, about how important it is and how it's more important than cash flow. You're an idiot. How is Morgan's doing? You still having to work there? You're an idiot, mate. You have been an idiot for 20 years. How about you start generating cash flow so you never have to work again, and you put several layers of management in place so you never have to work again? That's how you do it. Oh, no, you don't want to do that. You want to be buying into capital appreciation. A load of rubbish. The conversation I had with a client going back about 5 years ago, they had all this money available in their London property, and I'm like, sell your property, buy cash flow generating properties for cash, so there's no problems with Section 24, all of that kind of thing. And I'm like, this is what you need to do: sell that, buy into this. That'll generate you $3,000 to $3,500 every single month. You never have to work again. If you wanted to go around traveling the world, I'm like, you can do that on $3,500 easily. Like, you can set up in Bali. Cost you less than £1,000 a month to live there, and then you got to spare $2,500 every single month to spend on whatever you want to spend on. Didn't do it. Still got that house. Still having to go to this crappy job that they hate. Just doesn't make any sense to me. If you want to be cash flow rich, if you want to be financially free, you have to be looking at what the cash flow is going to generate, not capital appreciation. Unless you're buying specifically for capital appreciation, and that is part of your investment portfolio where you're also generating cash flow, you can do that. But if you want to be financially free is not 200 grand sat in the bank. Financially free is £5,000 a month coming in every single month. And you could say, well, I can do that as well, Dan, because I've got 200 grand sat in the bank. That's 40 months. What happens at 40 months? Nothing. You run out of money. Now you've got to go get a job. We don't want that. Start buying property. You can buy property up north for 65 grand, it's £15,000 down. How many of them can you buy? You're making £200 a month. If you buy 10 of them, you need 150 grand. You've got 10 of them, 250 quid a month, you're £2,500 a month up, you never have to work again. Done. Then the question turns into, how quickly can you get 150 grand? Well, if you can save £1,500 a month for 100 months, is that 7.5 years, 8 years? You're retired, you're done. Bish bosh bish, done in 8 years' time. And then, by the way, might you get some capital appreciation? Maybe. Should you remortgage? Maybe. That's how I did it. But would I do it now? I've not refinanced anything for years. I've got no intention of refinancing anything. The only thing I'm going to do on property is pay that stuff off, because that's where I'm up to right now. That's what I want in my life. I don't want to be having kryptonite around my neck, which are mortgages, which on the Bank of England say so, interest rates go up to 10%. I know it screws everybody, but it screws me too. I don't want to be screwed by that. So my job now is to actually pay that debt down. And I was just thinking in the shower this morning, do I buy more for cash? Do I buy more with 50% loan to value, 70% loan to value, or 25% loan to value? It's probably I'll put 50% in and mortgage the rest. And we're still looking at paying that stuff off. But I want to keep buying more and more and more, and then sell some in 10, 15 years, but then pay off all the others. And then it's all cash flow free. Put it into a trust, so it's a tax-free wrapper. It's not tax-free, but it's the profits from it can be held within the. Anyway, let's not go into trust now. But it's not tax-free. You have to pay some money on the trust. But you can pass that down onto your children from an inheritance tax point of view. There's all sorts of crazy stuff that you can do. That's why we're working so hard now, isn't it? Because we want to generate income for our kids, so they don't have to go through the stuff that we had to go through. But then also, you've got to balance that with financial literacy, financial education, so they understand the beauty of cash flow. Generate cash flow again and again and again. Create a product like the training course on how to create a £27 training course. Buy that, it's 27 quid. And it'll show you how to make training courses that you can then sell again and again and again. I woke up feeling ill this morning, but I woke up with 3 sales at 27 quid. What is that? Is that £81? 81 quid. Do that times 30, £2.5 grand a month. That's not bad. But you've got to create the thing in the first place. And just like you've got to be creating property in some way. Rent to rent is an option, but it's a short-term option because you don't own the asset. And you could say, well, nobody really owns property. Try not paying council tax on a property and see how long you own it for, because you're being caught. Property's taken from you to pay for council tax. You're in prison. Nobody really truly owns anything. But rent to rent, you definitely don't own anything. Your name's not even written down on any ownership figures at all. You're just renting from somebody. It's not a bad process to get into it, but the profits from that should all go into buying yourself a buy-to-let property that you're going to hang on to, pay down the debt over the next 25 years, and then you've got it. Put it into a trust, pass it down to your kids. Now they never have to work, or they can go out and just be a nurse if that's what we want to do. We want to go out and help people, or want to go out to third world countries and help volunteer and get life experience that way. This is why we do this whole thing, is so that then our children can benefit from our experience and our knowledge of building assets, and they get to benefit from the cash flow that they provide. You should be buying property. There's no good time. There's no bad time. There's no right time. There's no wrong time. They're just now. Buy the goddamn thing. But there are a couple of rules that you've got to follow. It's got to be profitable from day one. So I remember seeing an article, and we're buying a house, 100 grand, and it's going to cost 40 grand to spend on it to do it up. So they had like 10% deposit back in those days, 10 grand, plus another 40 grand. We've now spent £50,000, but it's generating £600 a month in rental income against a mortgage of 90,000. That's crazy. You call it 100 grand at what, 3%? It's about what, 2,750, about £225 a month mortgage, £600 a month income, £400 up. What, on a £50,000 investment? That's crazy. What a rubbish return on investment. This was in a property investing magazine, and we're going, well, it's not profitable now, but in 10 years' time it will be. Well, that's stupid. What are you investing in for 10 years' time? Why not buy a property that's already done up, that generates cash flow now, today, puts money in your pocket? That's what an asset does. My kids, by the way, going back 3 or 4 years ago, the youngest one was 7, the eldest was 11, 10, 11, and they could tell you what an asset was. What's an asset? Something that puts money in your pocket. Okay, can you give me an example? Well, like a house. Great. What's a liability? Something that takes money out of your pocket. Can you give me an example? Oh, a car. Great. Can you give me an example of how you could turn that into an asset? Yeah, you could be a taxi driver or rent it out. Perfect. Well done, kids. They understand that 7 or 8 or 10 or 11, whatever ages they were, they understand that an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. That's what you should be buying or building or creating. The training course is an asset. I spent time creating, I think, 115 videos over 16 different modules. That's done. I don't even have to touch that now. And one of the pre-sales today came in for that. But I created that 2 weeks ago. This morning, I got paid one of them for it. The other property sourcing training that we do, I created that January, I think it was. I think it was January. And we sold hundreds of copies of that at £27 each. But think about that. I created it once. It took time to organise and create and record and set it all up and then launch it and all the rest of it. But money just comes in. That's the whole point of generating or creating an asset that generates cash flow, just like property does. The only difference between the two, there's a couple of differences, but the big difference is you need 15, 20, 30, 40,000 pounds to get yourself into a deal. But now is the time to get yourself into that deal. Coming up to 20 minutes, lasted longer than I thought I would there with this voice of mine, but we're going to call it there. Hope that's useful. We're live on Friday in the Mindset and Hustle show. Come and join me for that. And we'll speak to you on Friday. Have a good one, folks. Take care.
Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.